Hey y'all, what's up? What it do? It's your girl Aisha and we're back with another YouTube video. Let me start by saying I'm so sorry that this took so long, you guys. I haven't posted a video in 3 months. I've been really locked in and busy, but I just figured if I film 2 videos at once, so I only have to film every other week, that's perfect. First one on Seattle versus New York, and then the second one will be more on the tall girl stuff. So super excited. Today we're gonna talk about what it was like for me living in New York versus Seattle. So I graduated from NYU and went to Seattle for work. How was that? So the first category we're gonna talk about is lifestyle. New York is very fast. We all know this. And when I say fast, I really mean fast. Like, people got places to go, people got things to see. There are so many different types of people. And I really feel as though it is a huge melting pot that everybody should live in at some point in their life, because it really will bring out a different side of you. We all know New York is fast. We know New York is great for that, but Seattle, I was not prepared for Seattle when I actually got there to see what I was dealing with. Listen, I lived in Canada for like 6 years, so I've experienced suburban lifestyle, but I've never seen the pace at which people in Seattle move. They move as though there's no like end to this life. You would think that because there's so many tech companies that people are like full of energy and very bright, vibrant. I think people that actually hate their lifestyle, and they're very much so aware of that, and it's not enjoyable for them. We all know New York is super fast, okay? The people are fast, opportunities are fast. This is really a city where you have to be at the right place in the right time that can actually change your life. I can feel the hunger in the people in New York when it comes to, you know, being that person and growing. You have to think about it. People that come to New York or move to New York or from New York, they're coming with hustle, grind, street smarts. They're really out here trying to be somebody. Seattle's not, they don't have that mindset. Seattle is extremely laid back. Laid the fuck back. I'm not gonna say people in Seattle aren't passionate about what they want to do, but they're so comfortable in their suburban lifestyle that there's no like daring ambitions from the people there, which then creates this like laid back lifestyle. So if you're very like adventurous and you're very daring and you love to like converse and you just love like meeting people, Seattle's not gonna be the place where that happens. Seattle's a place where people go there, they end up settling there because there's nothing else to do, and then they just get married and they just like have kids and they just like stay in the suburban. Even though Seattle was very depressing for me, something about the city just makes you be like, damn, I'm gonna just take it one day at a time. And you know, that actually has its pros and cons, to be honest. Seattle's very laid back culture, slow culture, really helped me focus in on what I wanted to do. Like every day I went to the gym, I was focused on my diet. I had a lot of free time to focus on myself and really own in on what I wanted to work on in my personal life. And I loved the free time it gave me for that. But when the weekend would come, I'd be like, damn, what's going on? Nothing. And people in Seattle, they want to go out one day and then the entire month they're not going out anywhere. The second part of the lifestyle differences is how do people connect and interact? We know that New York is all about networking and it's all about putting your best foot forward, your personality, how you behave. You can move to New York and just make friends. Versus Seattle, like it is actually extremely hard to connect with people, like extremely hard. I got lucky because of some friends from college that happened to move there because tech is really booming there. I don't think people don't want to be your friend, but I think rather everyone's just very, very, very isolated or very just nonchalant into themselves, that they're not really an outreach type of community. And that can be more, you know, suitable for someone that grew up in Seattle and having your tight-knit friends since day one. But for someone that maybe moved to Seattle, it's gonna be very difficult. Now let's talk about dating, okay? I call this the NYC variety versus the Seattle freeze, literally. Dating in New York obviously has its options, and I do have my own opinions about dating in New York, but I will say dating in New York is 10 times better than it is in Seattle. If you are a Black woman going to Seattle, just know you are not going to find your partner there unless you like to dip in the white sauce. But the men in Seattle do not like dark-skinned women. They like Blasian women. They like white women. They like ambiguous women. They like, is she white or is she Black woman? You get what I'm saying here? As a dark-skinned woman, I'm not saying it's impossible. I know some guys who like dark-skinned women, but if you're expecting to go and meet somebody when you go out, the chances are really slim. I think it's a West Coast problem in general, but Seattle definitely is very, very hard or impossible to date as a dark-skinned woman if you're looking for other dark-skinned men. What I will say about Seattle is these New York men do not know what the hell they want. One second they want that Bonnie and Clyde love, the next second they want to settle down and just pick a girl, the next second they want to hit every John A. and Mary that there is in the whole New York City. They don't know what they want. No. If you go to Seattle and you find a man that wants to date you, he will date you and y'all actually might get married. What happens is because Seattle is so boring, you end up spending so much time with your partner. And because there's less variety of people, you really like build a relationship with that person. And I've seen so many people who like, if they do date in Seattle, they've been dating them for like years and they're literally engaged, married. In New York, I don't know. New York is fast, and fast life works for work and connections, but I don't know how much the fast life works for dating in New York. I think New York has its own benefits with like different types of men that like tall women, black women, all types of women, whatever it is. Because New York is so fast and people are really trying to get up professionally, dating can sometimes not be a priority here, which is understandable, but my thing is like, if it's not a priority, then leave the girls alone. So I don't actually think dating in New York is the best thing, you know? People look better than they actually are. Now, the social norms when it comes to datings, New York men are very much, hey, I want to take you out, you know, let's go on a date, boom, this time and place. Seattle men like to just string you along and say a bunch of nothing, with a lot less substance, no promises. They also do not spend money like they do in New York, which is kind of obvious, but people in Seattle are very much money conscious, and in New York, you know, we have a time. I'll also say that there's this weird thing. I don't know if it's a West Coast thing or a Seattle thing, but they want you to bow down to them. They want you to be obsessed with them, be so into them, act local and crazy over them. You know, I don't know why they think that way. I'm not one of those girls, like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't born and raised in the East Coast, but like, I've been in New York long enough and I've met so many types of people that I'm like, I'm not with the bullshit. Like, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is, how I'm feeling, and I communicate, and them Seattle boys cannot communicate. Now the weather, let's talk about the weather. You already know New York, you know, hot summers, cold winters. Usually I find that in New York, it's like a very hard rain for like 10 minutes. Seattle, if you don't like rain, do not move to Seattle. If you don't think you could live like Pain did in Naruto, don't live in Seattle. Seattle weather can kill person. Like, it can kill somebody. Like, that weather can kill somebody's mind, their spirit, their motivation. I've lived in Saudi Arabia, I've lived in the cold in Canada, and yet I have never experienced a climate like Seattle in my life. Genuinely. I thought that I've already escaped and I've been immune to culture shock. The Seattle weather culture shock, the thing about Seattle, geography, climate plays a big part in the evolution of every city in every country in the world. Seattle's rain is a metaphor for the way that whole city is and the people is. That rain will start from morning and it'll go to night. The summer is amazing. The summer is beautiful in Seattle. The water is amazing. Like, it is the best time to be in Seattle in the summer, okay? But once that winter comes or that fall comes, just know it's time to go. Because unless you like hiking or snow, all that snow activity stuff, which I don't, you're gonna be experiencing rain from September all the way to like May. June. Honestly, I saw rain till I left. June. It's not like a crazy rain of like splish splash crazy. It's a very soft rain. It's the type of rain that's like, you don't need an umbrella necessarily for a quick trip. If you're walking anywhere more than 10 minutes, you're gonna be soaked. You know that type of rain I'm talking about? I thought it didn't bother me until I realized that I was waking up every single day to darkness and rain and cloudiness. And because the weather is so depressing, like what I'm telling you guys, every single day you're waking up to dark clouds, gray weather. It looks like a black and white movie. Gray weather, rain just falling, trickling. Who would have motivation in that weather? I can't even blame the people in Seattle, because that type of weather, it was so depressing for me. Seasonal depression really hit me hard. But I will say again, the summer's beautiful. The summer, people are on the water, they're on the beach, on the boats. It's really nice in the summer, and it's like a lot of fun things in the summer. Now, let's talk about the cost of living. Y'all know New York rent is disgusting. We already know this. And one thing I will give Seattle is those apartments are beautiful. I'm talking about everybody had a pool in their building. There is no elevator or no elevator, you know, how it is in New York. There is no laundry or no laundry like how it is in New York. Beautiful views. I had floor to ceiling windows in my studio. Had all amenities included in my building, security downstairs, Amazon lockers, and on the top roof of my floor, I had direct viewing into the football stadium to watch football games, cookouts. Like, I had the best apartment ever. And I have friends who live in even more amazing apartments. Like them Seattle apartments are reasonable, they're gorgeous, and there's no state income tax, so you obviously get more money, which is just, you know, which is great. Like every day, all my friends, we all miss our Seattle apartments. Those are the most beautiful apartments ever. Oh, just to add on the friends part, I know I said it's hard to make friends, but when you do meet your friends in Seattle, bro, those are gonna be your best friends for life. The same reasons why for dating in Seattle, it's like hard when you do find someone that's beautiful. The same thing about your friends, because there's nothing to do in that damn city. Literally, you end up spending so much time with your friends and doing movie nights and wine nights and just getting to know each other. And like generally, it's like really, really beautiful how you can find something. It's so amazing how you can find something so beautiful amidst all the bullshit in that city. So absolutely love my girls. But yeah, finding an apartment that met my needs and, you know, wasn't too expensive, but still you're gonna have to end up paying more money than you want in New York for a nice apartment. That's just how it is here. But because I was so spoiled in Seattle when it comes to my apartment, I had to just, you know, I have to swallow it and get a nice apartment here. So no. Now let's talk work and career opportunities. NYC's corporate hustle versus Seattle's tech-driven market. Y'all know New York is all about that hustle, that grind. You're gonna meet so many different types of people here professionally. Some people are working jobs that I didn't even know existed. But in Seattle, it is a tech dystopian. I say dystopian for a reason. You can't even talk about anything. The second question that's coming after what's your name is where do you work? Or they'll just tell you, I work at Amazon, I work at Facebook, I work at Google, I work at Meta, I work at Microsoft, I work at Boeing, I work at Kiriko, I work at... We all work in the same field. I can't talk about tech for that long. I'm tired. I moved back to New York. I have friends in banking, nurses, tech as well, entrepreneurs. I meet different types of people, and while we do still talk about our work and, you know, what we're doing, we also talk about our personal goals, where we want to go, things we're working on for our personal development. But I swear to God, in Seattle, you cannot escape the work-life conversation. It is everything. It is everywhere. It is, what do you do for work? Where are you going with work? It is a tech dystopian. It is scary. But I will say, if you want a job in tech, most likely they will tell you to go to Seattle, because Seattle's where all the tech is. One thing about people in Seattle, they stay employed, okay? That's what they do. New York City also has tech, but it's more of the finance. It's a mix of people. You talking about your tech product, and me talking about my tech product, and how our tech products are techie in the tech world is not doing nobody no favors. Let's talk about nightlife. Hey, This is where it's really getting started, you guys. The nightlife in NYC versus Seattle. Because if y'all know me in New York, y'all know I'm a night bunny. I'm always going out in New York. We're doing new things. I understand the NYC nightlife. We know New York does not sleep. So 2 a.m., then 4 a.m., then 6 a.m. You either indulge in it or you don't. But what I will say is New York has all the nightlife, which is amazing. Not just the nightlife, but you can literally end up in a famous person's apartment, house party, or you could end up at a studio session, or you could end up at a creative sync. Like, I kid you not, like, New York is not just about the nightlife, but just about the night activities. It is endless opportunities, boundless, and it's literally the best place for someone that wants to tap into their creative or personal energy and really test its limits. Like, absolutely love it. Now in Seattle, there are maybe 2 black places you can go to. One is with my homeboy DJ Naira. He throws a lot of Afrobeat parties. And honestly, that's the only one I can really remember. The black scene in Seattle is the most interesting scene I have ever come across in my life. I've never seen it. Like, I'm a young, hot black girl. Why am I going to the club and seeing African uncles in Gucci flip-flops and Tommy Hilfiger shirts with the beer belly, wearing Gucci sandals at the club, popping bottles? I don't need to see that. It's literally, that's all. It's like literally just African uncles in Seattle. African uncles, African uncles, African uncles. You'll see a couple of tech guys out when you go to the tech group, the tech guys, you know what I'm saying, the Apple guys and all those guys, but they're very demure. They might like you or have a crush on you, but they're not gonna come up to you and be like, oh, hey girl, like, I'll get you a drink. They'll just watch you like this. And also, Seattle men don't buy girls drinks. But in New York, it's not hard to get a drink. Get a little drink, catch a vibe. Seattle, it's like everyone wants to be scared of each other. I really think the weather and the work environment in Seattle like perpetuates this like social anxiety. I'm not a social anxious person, but moving to Seattle made me extremely socially anxious to socialize and meet people because everybody's on some weird ass energy. You will feel the energy shift in Seattle like mad. Like it's different. But what I will say that I love about Seattle is them bottomless brunches. Oh my God. Seattle brunch is it. I I'm not even a huge brunch person personally. I'm not crazy on brunch, but I think because in Seattle they don't even like to be out that late for real. Everybody love a good brunch there. Like when I'm talking about them bottomless mimosas, we used to be on the table dancing, drinking. That's the place that made me fall in love with brunch. Literally the black clubs in Seattle have been shot up. Oh my god, that's a point I want to bring up. People underestimate Seattle. They think that Seattle is this old big techie nerd loser, Pantagonian wearing, Birkenstock wearing white people. Like, no, Seattle actually has a lot of crime. Don't laugh, because people laugh when I say this, but it's not like they're killing necessarily pedestrians, but there's just gang violence. My homeboy's car got stolen by a YN. Like, this is real. And they break into cars in Seattle like mad. Like, if you have a car, do not park your car. Do not leave stuff in your car in Seattle just like that. They'll break into your car. People even break into apartment garages to get your stuff. There's so many stabbings, shootings in Seattle, and people don't know this because it's presented as this place that is just really techie and nerdy, but there are two sides. That place is literally Gotham. Like, I'm not kidding. Another point I want to bring up is the homelessness in Seattle. People don't understand this for real. Like, if you look into the history of Seattle, first of all, they decriminalized drugs in Seattle. So there is a big drug issue at Third Ave, I believe, in Seattle, downtown Seattle. You guys don't even understand what I have seen in Seattle. Roads on roads of homeless people on drugs. I'm never gonna like come for the homeless, but they be hurting people. They rob people, they stab people. I've never seen some shit like that before in my life. I think it's a whole West Coast drug issue that's going on. It's really unfortunate, and there's no efforts in Seattle to clean up the mess. They just keep them there. See, New York has homelessness, but in my opinion, people be homeless and just be like trying to tough it out. Like, I don't see that many people on that many crazy drugs. I've seen stuff, but it's like 10 times worse than Seattle. And people don't know that unless they go to Seattle and see it for themselves. I will say for food, y'all know New York got the best food for real. The best black food. There is like one African place in Seattle, like Nigerian food restaurant. But personally, I did not enjoy that one restaurant. It was called something jollof. That was not good food, bro. The only thing that was good in Seattle was the Asian food and the seafood. Like, best seafood ever, best Asian food ever. But if you want Nigerian food in Seattle, you better find one of them aunties that be like making dishes. Another thing I'm gonna add also is Seattle has Cut. If you guys watch YouTube, you guys know Cut is actually found in Seattle. So I've been in a couple Cut videos, which is awesome. So if you're into like getting into fun stuff like that, that's definitely an opportunity for you. And they have this Afrobeat festival in the summer that's actually becoming really big. It's called Blast Fest. It's an amazing event to go to too. Overall, I will say that I did not enjoy Seattle. I can say that. But there's a diamond in every rough. That's not how the saying goes, but that's how we're gonna use it right now. And although it was really tough for me as a person, like, I felt as though I needed to be in Seattle for a reason. I met the most amazing girls ever there, and I really got to learn a lot more about that like human connection, and that there's more to life than clubbing. There's more to life than just going out all the time. There's a lot of intimate things you can do. You can build real intimate relationships in Seattle that mean a lot, which is great. The second thing Seattle also really taught me is how to be comfortable with being alone, because a lot of us, I realized, New York is very fast paced. But the thing about it is you get so caught up in the New York busyness that you sometimes lose yourself in it. You're not actually spending a lot of time with yourself. And I realize not a lot of people actually know themselves. And Seattle really made me know myself. I learned in my isolation, like, what I like, what I don't like, what I can tolerate, what I won't tolerate. I learned how to be comfortable being alone and not have to be like, oh, I need to talk to someone, I'm alone. I started reading in Seattle, I started picking up hobbies, I started working out a lot. And I'm so happy I've gotten those habits, back with me to New York, because even though I have fun in New York now, which is great because I needed that balance, I know when to step away and focus on myself, but take some alone time without feeling isolated and feeling alone and sad. Because I'm like, yeah, we got shit to do. There's work to be done. And yeah, so I'm really thankful for my time in Seattle as well as being back in New York. I love New York. This is somewhere that really resonates with the type of person I am. If anyone knows me now, people always say I'm much calmer, and that's because of Seattle. So I'm thankful for Seattle and everything, and I'm happy I got to experience a place that I would have never originally picked in the beginning, but I know God has a plan for me, and God always shows you things, so I'm so thankful. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any specific questions, like the best neighborhoods to live in, best restaurants, best clubs, please leave a comment and I will get to y'all as soon as possible. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe.